You're wondering, do I only need to take the Shinkansen? Shinkansen is the express bullet train from Osaka to Tokyo or Tokyo to Osaka, or do I really have to take a flight? Here is the cheapest way you can use the bus. I actually did it, and that's why I'm sharing my experience so that you can prepare in advance. First thing first, I left Osaka because I live in Osaka, and I went to the Osaka Umeda Station. It's a large, gigantic building. It's actually connected to the train station, so it's not just the bus station only. It has a really, really, really why did I say that so many times? Okay, I just don't know why I said that, but this station is really big, so watch out for the information boxes if you get lost, because chances are you might get lost. Why? Because I got lost. Anyways, there are a lot of signs directing you on where and how to move around, and if you're ever confused, there are also train station information offices, so you can stop by and ask. I have always been asking, and they are very helpful. In their broken English, they have been able to direct me where and what to go, how to go, what to do, all right? But my best recommendation is don't be in a hurry to leave Osaka. Tour around that large station. Why? Because there are a lot of shops, a pile of restaurants, and a bunch of things you would not believe is found in the train station. At least I didn't believe they were. Not for anything, this is the funniest part of my trip, and I just have to start by talking about it, the ticket. When I planned this trip, I was like, August, I'm not working, it's time to go adventure and explore more of Japan. So I think it was in July I decided to go buy my ticket. Yeah, I got it, 4,000 yen. That's almost, please do the mathematics. And I was so happy because it was 1 month in advance. So, in my opinion, I was like, oh, that's cheap, relatively cheap, because all the flights I saw were from 6, 7,000, 8,000. Shinkansen is always 10, 20, 15, 20. In fact, I'm just calling random numbers, but it is expensive. That's what I'm saying. So I was so happy. But there was something in me that kept saying, buy your return ticket, Sarah, buy your return ticket. But I was just like, when I go to travel, on the day that I'm traveling, I will buy the return ticket. Was that a smart decision? Absolutely the worst decision. Why? Because when I came on the day that I wanted to travel, that was on the first week of August. Hey. All the trains that were going to come back to Osaka have increased the prices. I mean, like, the buses were double the amount. I had to pay 8,500. Double plus double. So what am I saying as an unsolicited advice? If you're going to be traveling within the season, the peak seasons like the Christmas, the major Japanese holidays, do not buy your ticket on the same day or same week or same month if possible. But you can only buy 1 month in advance. So, in other words, prepare in advance. Though I laughed, that wasn't really very funny about the ticket issue. I literally cried, but that's life. You make some mistakes and you learn from them, and that's one of the major reasons I decided to do this video, to update you wherever you're coming from. If you're visiting Japan, buy and plan everything online if it's possible, in advance, as early as possible, because Japanese people travel a lot, and that means prices can just rise up overnight. All right, but you will not believe that in all of that long travel, I mean, as in not long travel, a lot of money, there was no snack in the bus, nothing. And that for me wasn't funny too. I expected a little bit of snack. Anyway, I bought my own snacks. And the luggage, they have a special tag when you have to board, and they also equally were very punctual. I was very glad about that, because we arrived in Tokyo exactly the time I was estimating for us to arrive. Awesome. I'll describe the bus with a couple of things that for me were a little different. I mean, of course, comparatively to my country. The very first one is the space of the buses were very small. I found the chairs extremely tiny. I was surprised, honestly. For some reason, I was comparing Japanese buses to Korean buses. I lived in Korea for almost 6 years, and I was just always comfortable traveling around Korea. The buses are really big and comfortable. There are several times I traveled from Busan to Seoul, or from Pohang to Seoul. Very big, comfortable seats, especially overnight seats. It was just, you stretch your back and you can sleep and forget about the world. Yep, but here the Japanese buses were very small and tiny. Then they were like two, so two people sitting on two sides. And then I heard they're actually female only buses. So if you are not willing to mix, you can consider that. But I use the word general one, so there was actually a man sitting beside me. And one thing that surprised me inside the bus also was there were curtains, so you can draw your curtain and close your section, especially in the nighttime. That was for me really nice, a kind of privacy, which it felt really good, even though the curtain still covers the two of you, so it's not like your curtain. Of course, except if nobody else is beside you. And that was really a bit different for me. I'd never seen that. One other thing that left me a bit surprised was the double decker. Like inside the bus, there's a top part and there's a lower part. Yeah, and the top part had actually more people than the lower part. That was for me a surprise. So you have to walk on the staircase and go to the top. When I was going, I used anyway, I was assigned the seat. I didn't choose the top part. And when I was coming back, I was also assigned the seat at the bottom. There were large CCTV cameras, just like looking at you like, hey, we see you. Don't do anything foolish. Anyway, I'm joking. But I was surprised to see like very big CCTV cameras in the buses. Like, what can happen in the bus? Anyway, for security reasons, anything can happen. So there's supposed to be video evidence. And then the part that was a bit surprising also for me was the driver section, and us, the passengers, was kind of completely blocked. We have no access to him. Like, you cannot see him. He cannot, probably, maybe he can hear us. Maybe that's the reason for the cameras. But his section is completely blocked. It's not like you can talk to him and ask him questions during the trip. I felt like that is really nice for him to be able to concentrate. In Cameroon, our buses, you just see your driver any and everywhere. People talk and sometimes talk too loud. And it could be very distracting. But for me, that part that they were completely separated was special. It was unique. I had never ever seen that anywhere in all my travels. One thing that I was also a bit surprised was after a specific time, the driver announced and put off the light. So whether you wanted to sleep or you don't want to sleep, the lights were off. Of course, there were glimmers of flashlights on the road, because traffic and shops open, security lights, but the whole bus was dark after a specific hour, and pretty much everyone was dozing off. For those who were snoring, I was able to sleep because I had had an exhausting day. So for me, it was really a bit comfortable. But then I noticed that because of the tight space, it was hard to stretch my seat to the back so I could sleep for a longer time. And I don't know whether there is a specific way. I just didn't know, and I wasn't sure if I should ask the Japanese man sitting beside me. So I pretty much slept sitting almost upright. And yeah, by the time I arrived, my back was hurting because it's a long trip. Very long. We left Osaka around, was it 9:10? I forgot the exact hour. And we arrived Tokyo at 5, no, 6 in the morning. There were a couple of stops on the way because people need to use the bathroom. That's another surprising thing. The bus doesn't have a toilet. So if you need to wee wee or pee pee or all the other things that come out of your belly when they are not comfortable, you will have to wait for the driver to stop at the rest areas before you go out. For the most part, I never travel. Sorry, I never eat before I travel. So I really wasn't even aware when we stopped. I was just off. I got up actually only at the last stop, and it was almost already morning. And I cannot lie, the beautiful sunset view of Japan just takes my heart into a whole new level. I love everything about the Japanese morning sunsets, even the evening ones, that orange view. Oh, it just has a way of making my heart just want to look and look and look. And I feel like it's a sermon to say, God is saying to me, I love you. Look at nature. And I'm telling you through the nature that I love you. All right, that's my own personal interpretation. The roads were extremely express. I need to add extreme and then express, the EEs. I mean, like it was smooth. I did not feel any bumpy. No, 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 no. Well maintained. It just felt like, rolling on wheels. And I was just like, wow, 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 wow. Of course, it got tiring after a while for my knees because there wasn't, like I said, enough leg room. But the AC wasn't too cold, which I really appreciated. And my trip was like this. So I'll round this video up by saying that Shinjuku Bus Station in Tokyo is reputed to be the most busiest in the world. Oh yeah, believe me, it is. That station is big. You just see a million people moving in and out and in and out and in, because the train station is connected to the bus station as well. It's a very large building, and I was just impressed. Japan has done an amazing job. Believe me, it's the cheapest way to move around Japan. Every other way is pricey. Anyway, of course, if your budget is okay, then that's fine. For me, I am a budget traveler. I calculate every tiny little Japanese yen before I get out of my apartment. All right, that's it for my trip from Osaka to Tokyo. And of course, it's exactly the same from Tokyo to Osaka. In my niece's voice, after you have liked, subscribed, and shared this video, because many people are coming to Japan and they don't know that they can use this cheap method. Bye bye.